Hello darlings, how is everybody today? I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about something that recently happened to me. Actually, it happened yesterday. So I am starting my own business, like I told you guys before. I'm building up my business and I registered the name of my company with the US Patents and Trade Office. And so it's been quite a number of months. It does say on their website that they're backed up like a year. They're backed up like a year or more as far as getting to everybody's applications and stuff. So, okay, fine. It's been about, so far, maybe 4 or 5 months since I registered. Then all of a sudden, yesterday, I get a phone call. And the phone call, they're from another country. And that was my first red flag. Not because it wasn't an American voice, but a lot of times that I found the people that are doing these scams are from other countries. So I'm listening to them, and first they sent me an email, and the email was like, you have to we have an attorney that's looking over your documents, and there's another company that is registering with the same name, and they're doing the same exact type of business as you, and they're located in California. So what we need you to do is, if you want to proceed with the trademark name, we need you to call us immediately. They said to call at the number below. Well, I looked in the bottom of the email, there is no number below. So I'm thinking, well, how do I get in touch with them? So I sent a reply and said, yes, I want to go ahead with this. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, is there a fee? I don't know I have no further information, so let me just say yes. So I did. Next thing I know, fast forward, this was in the morning yesterday. In the afternoon, I get a phone call. And the phone call was a person who was from the other country. I won't say what country it is. And they're like, well, they're very professional sounding and telling me that they need to verify first my information. And I didn't give them any specific information, because what it sounded like was that they had everything that they needed. They had the company name, they had the ID number or the register number. So they didn't need a whole lot from me. They were mostly concentrating on what they were saying as far as the other company, and that they were located in California, and they wanted to know if I wanted to proceed with registering the trademark name, because the other company registered also, but they registered a week after mine. So my first reaction was, oh, okay, so if you know that they registered a week after mine, why wouldn't you just go ahead with me registering and call it a day, basically? What they told me was that I can do that, but I also need to make sure that none of the other states, 50 states, none of the other states have anybody who's also registering under that name. And I said, well, when you do a search, can't you find that out? And they said, well, no, they can't do that, because somebody could have an application pending and it could be the same type of company also. So what you have to do is, and it was a long conversation. It wasn't like something brief, like I'm explaining it. But at the end of the conversation, it was basically, in order to proceed with it, you have to pay a certain amount. The amount was almost $3,000. I want to say it's like $2,700. And I'm hemming and hawing and saying, because I'm still going through it in my mind, like, is this legit? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And like I've said, I have great intuition. And it just didn't sound right to me. It didn't sit right. So then I said, well, you know what? I'm going to have to get back to you, because I don't have the money at this time. And they said, well, we have to talk with the attorney who's handling the case, and the attorney can get back to you. But what we can do is you can make it in, you can put half of it down. And then, so right away when they said that, then I knew, okay, this is a scam. Because no trademark office is going to be like half down now, half later, you know, or you can make a payment plan. They're not going to do that. And I should have known, even on the email, because there was no number to get in contact with anybody. There was no, I can read it to you. I can read to you what the email said. It was so like non-legitimate. It says, my whole name, dear so-and-so, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to inform you of a critical development regarding your trademark application, and they gave the serial number. During the examination process, we received an objection due to potential infringement concerns from another applicant seeking to trademark the same business name, and they put the business name. The USPTO has provided a limited opportunity to resolve this objection and proceed with the registration of your trademark. To move forward, the following mandatory requirements raised by the examining attorney must be completed without delay. So they said that I have to combine Section 8 and 9 declaration and an attestation from all 50 states. So I looked all that stuff up to find out exactly what the heck that meant. I did that, and they said an attestation from all 50 states is $30 per state times 50. They said it was going to be $1,500. Well, he told me it was going to be 2,000 something. So I don't know how it got from that to $1,500. That's another flag. But anyway, thank you for your attention to this matter. I look forward to your swift response. Best regards, Legal Affairs Office. And the email came from legal@trademarkprotectusa.com. Normally what I do is when I get something that looks bogus, I put in the name with spaces in between. Even if it's a website, I put the name in Google and then I put reviews. But it didn't come up. So it doesn't matter that it didn't come up. I can tell that it was a scam. And also the number, they tried to call me at least 3 times again today, and it was an area code that it's someplace in New York. So I don't know why they would be calling instead of like a 1-800 number or 888 or something like that. You know, it just didn't sound right. In any case, since then I Googled a lot of different websites and scams and potential scams and what you need to look for. So I already know that this was a scam. And also, I'm sure you're probably smarter. You're like, well, why didn't you just go on the website and do a search for your status of your application? Duh. Well, I didn't do that. I didn't think to do that because, you know, I'm nervous about it at first because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my trademark name, like I really want this name, you know, and somebody's about to beat me to it. They know what to say. These are professionals who do this day in and day out. They feed on people's fears. So I did a search and I was like, whew, okay, my application is still pending. They haven't even gotten to it yet. So what else is scary is that there are people, professionals who know a lot about this and know how to instill fear in people. They're doing this for a living, and that's what they do all day, day in and day out. And they have our personal information. They had my number, they have my the serial number of the application. So you wonder, like, this must be an inside job. That's what I'm thinking. Like, somebody who works in these offices, people are paying them for these numbers, for this information, so that they can contact us and they're getting kickbacks, you know, or something. Something's going on. Just like when people call us with phone numbers and all kinds of stuff, like, where are they getting our phone numbers from? Where are they getting our information, our personal information from? When they send us letters in the mail for these scams, which there's a lot of, how are they getting our information? Somebody's feeding it to them. That much I know. So I wanted to go through with you guys because I did a Google search. I know a lot of us are starting our own businesses, so we need to look out for these things together. And this is a community, and I'm helping you guys, and I hope if you know have any tips, please comment below of something that you went through that's similar, and maybe you might put something down there that I haven't thought of in this conversation. But if I'm on the uspto.gov site under trademarks and looking for potential scams, and it says recognizing common scams, signs to watch out for. And first thing it says, USPTO will never ask for your personal or payment information over the phone. Well, I didn't read this first, okay? But I still knew my wonderful God-given, thank you, Lord, intuition. I knew that this was not legit. They won't ask for it over the phone. They won't ask for it in an email or a text. And it says we don't require payment via check or money order to third-party addresses. The thing is, I already paid them. I paid them to do the work and to make it happen. So now it's up to them to either accept or deny. There shouldn't be any other payment necessary, because that's what the fine print said when I read, because I did read it before I signed off on it, okay? It says there's often a demand for immediate action or payment that's not due. This is what scammers will do. And that is usually accompanied by a threat of losing your trademark rights if you don't pay. And that's what they said to me, like, you're going to lose your trademark if you don't pay this amount. And we just wanted to let you know that because the other company can definitely get the trademark name before you, yada, yada, yada. It says USPTO stands for the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Any variation is not part of the USPTO. So this company that sent me this information was definitely not legit. What was the name again, in case you guys, well, I can always link it below, but it is the Trademark Protect USA. Okay, so it did not come from USPTO. And even on the bottom of it, there was no company name like USPTO, gov.gov, all that other stuff that would come along with a professional email from the United States. It says some companies will claim they're allowed to do trademark work or practice before the USPTO, even though they aren't law firms or attorneys. Some will even say they're recommended by the USPTO. We do not recommend specific companies or attorneys, because the person told me that their attorney would get back to me and they were working with an attorney. So that should have been I wish I had read this beforehand, but I didn't know. Who knew that a scammer would contact me regarding my trademark? I just didn't think that would happen. But I guess, people do that when it comes to Social Security, not Social Security, what is it called? The IRS. And they target older people. My mother and my father were targeted by the IRS previously. And my mother, one day, I remember she was getting ready to hand over a boatload of money to them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I was just I don't remember how old I was. I think I was in high school at the time. I said, you can't do that. You don't know these people. Oh, no, but I know, it's the IRS. And I think she knew she owed money, but she was like, they instilled fear into her, and she was scared, and she was going to send them the money. Fortunately, it all worked out. She didn't send them the money. They stopped calling, and that was the end of that. What else? They say spoofing phone numbers. Scammers call a trademark customer and falsely claim to be from the USPTO. They use fake caller ID information to impersonate a USPTO employee to trick you into providing personal information or paying excessive or non-existent fees. Again, that happened to me. Email imposters. You can check trademark status and document retrieval online. That's what I did, and that's how I was able to see that my application was still pending. Also, it says if your application hasn't yet been assigned to an examining attorney, you can call this 1-800 number to confirm if the email is genuine. And I probably will do that tomorrow. I already know that it's not genuine, but still I just I don't know. Just call it overkill, whatever. Compare the USPTO employee's name in the email address you receive. Well, they didn't give a name. They just were basically like, dear sir, madam, thank you, finance office. That's all they gave, no name. And they did say in the body of the letter to contact me, meaning them, contact me, but they didn't give a name. So that was a red flag for me when I read it. Research the company or entity that contacts you to see if they're legitimate and decide if it is offering a service you actually want or need. Well, I couldn't even find them on the internet. They don't exist. What else? How to protect yourself. We went through that. Wrongful appointment of attorney. There was no attorney involved. They lied. Some applicants or registrants include specimens that seem real at face value, but were created on e-commerce specimen farm websites. They're digitally created, altered, or mocked up, don't show how the trademark is actually being used in commerce, and often are created just to register a trademark. So they're like putting together false trademark symbols and documentation They're doing all kinds of stuff. They are doing the most for real. Illegitimate signatures on submissions. So imagine getting your certificate and you think, oh my gosh, I got it. I got my trademark. I got the name. And they put a false seal on it, false signature and everything. I mean, that would be, I can't imagine that feeling, and to find out that it's not real, because you're waiting, you know. I mean, actually, I'm not waiting on pins and needles. I think about it from time to time, and I check my email to see if anybody sent me anything. But I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if that happened. But I did do my due diligence on this site, and I did see that there is a company with a similar name, but they're doing something completely different than what I'm doing. That's what caused the red flag in me. Not the red flag, but that's what kind of led me to keep talking to the person instead of hanging up on their face, because there were two things that I thought about when they called me. I knew there was a company when I researched whether or not the trademark name existed as a trademark. I knew that there was another company that already had the name, but they were doing something totally different. Although I knew the company that was calling me was not legal, well, I had my suspicions. I still kind of was led down that rabbit hole with the person, because I knew in my mind, I was remembering that when I did this search to find out if there was another company with the same name, there was. But they were doing something else in a totally complete different industry. So that's why I kept like talking with the person to see like what else they could possibly tell me, and maybe by chance it was legit. I didn't think so, but let me just see where this goes. We kind of went down a rabbit hole with this, but I just wanted to alert you guys that these things are still alive and well. They're happening every single day. Be vigilant. If you have a company that you're establishing and you want to do you want to establish your trademark for the name, make sure that you do your own search at the uspto.gov site, and also, you know, listen out carefully to who you're talking to and who you're getting information from. Don't just fall for anything, and don't give any money over the phone or through email. If you pay up front when you do the registration, you shouldn't have to pay anything else after that. So be careful, be sure, and above all, follow your God-given intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Okay? That's all. Later, darlings.